How's everyone?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Patsy Brescia, Chairman of the Norwalk Charter Revision Commission, and it is 7:36, and I'd like to take roll call.
Carl Dickens here.
Present.
Angela Wasuna here.
Okay. And
Benita Watford here.
Michael Witherspoon here.
okay, we have 4 members of our commission present, so we have a quorum and we can continue. And we have our counsel, Steve Mednick, also with us. The first item on our agenda is approval of the April 27th, 23 minutes. Are there any, a motion to move the minutes is in order?
I'd make a motion to move.
Thank you, Carl.
Second,
Okay, and Michael seconds. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? Hearing none and seeing none, a motion is in order to move the roll call, or not roll call, just all those in favor.
Aye.
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 All right, they passed unanimously. So are there any public comments from anyone that is on Zoom? There's no one here in the audience that wishes to speak. No, okay, that's in our tech person has indicated that there's no one present at the moment that wishes to speak. So we'll turn it over to counsel, Steve, regarding our latest document, which is 1.25 inches thick, for us to discuss.
We're killing trees like crazy.
Well, yeah. So this is it. We have actually pulled everything together into a document. I've actually broken it down into 3 parts. I don't know if you need, I don't think, do you need an overhead on this, do you? Does everybody have a copy of the document?
Yes.
Yes, we do, but it's always helpful to have it on.
All right, all
Problem.
right. Am I a co-host? No, no, not a problem. If I'm a co-host, I can do it. I'm a co-host. Yeah, so I'll walk you through it. But what? All right, you see it? I'll make it larger before anybody says anything.
Pretty good. Do we need it bigger?
Well, but
Anybody?
you're gonna need it when we get into the body.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoops, that's too big. Well, you'll need it when we get into the body. So basically, this is the first look at the consolidated document. Right now, it's the general government side of it is at 115 pages, which is a little shorter than some and a little longer than other big city charters. I'm hoping that in the next week or 2 with the edits, I will begin to bring it down a little bit. It's shorter actually on the general government side than when I did the consolidation of the current charter. It really brings it down, but remember, I've added a number of new provisions that bring it back up. But let me get to the table of contents and kind of walk through what we have here. Why is it? Are you seeing it off to the side?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not centered.
Why is that? I mean, I have a lot of comments in here. Let me just bring it down, bring the zoom down a little bit and see if that makes a difference. Give me a second here.
Can you cursor to the right with your ribbon at the bottom?
It doesn't seem to be, let me see if I can do that. Hold on. Duh. Yes, I can. The distinguished counsel said, duh. All right. And so basically.
We understood.
Understood. That's the most understandable thing I've said all day. So part 1 is the general government, just to give you a breakdown. Patsy, I have tried, but I've not been able to get through to Attorney Murphy. I've called him twice or 3 times this week, but I'll show you in a moment. I'm beginning to draft setting the context. That's what we are going to open up with. Article 1, which you all know, we spent a lot of time in Article 1 and 2 and 3. those dates are the dates I drafted. Those will come out, obviously. As I was converting it, I was trying to keep track of the draft as it was going into the document. Remember, this document did not exist until the 27th of April. And then we go through the election section, which we spent a lot of time on. Common council, I don't know why I have council appointments yellowed. Then we go to the mayor, other elected officials, boards and commissions, lays it all out, including the Public Library Board, Patsy,
Thank you.
required by the charter, and departments and department heads, still doing some cleanup in these sections. And then Article 9 is the Board of Ed. Article 10, budget. I'm finally trying to get final comments from the CFO on that, which I hope to report to you next week. And then there's transition provisions, which lay out periodic date for review of the charter and the amendments, what the effective date is, and all that. The second part of the charter is the taxing districts. They start right now at page 111. And what I did is I broke it down so members of the public for the first time ever can see the breakdown as it is right now. I do want to say this, I was not planning on doing anything in the taxing districts, but I did do gender neutrality, and I am applying defined terms in the taxing district. And I think I did a run, I hope you don't mind, taking the word set out to try to use more modern language without changing any of the items in the document. Something else I did, Patsy, and I almost called you on this because I thought you would have been excited to know this. The definition of wards will now exist in the taxing district, because the taxing district in their definitions of their districts use the ward definition. So I moved what I thought was going to be a definition that was going to go away, and I moved it into the taxing district because that's where it belongs. And so that section 12-1 is all new language that kind of brings all the things in. Any of the sections that are in the general charter that apply to the taxing districts are now in those early sections. The powers of the Common Council. The Common Council does have quite a bit of authority, at least in the charter. Whether they exercise it or not, I do not know. But I moved all of their taxing district powers into the taxing district section. So if somebody is interested in the taxing district, they can go to this part of the charter and really take a look at it and figure it out. So I didn't do, like, for example, I didn't do, well, I guess I've done is about the same. I didn't go into the subsections like I do here with the different finance functions. If we have time, and if you think I could try to, we can do that at some point. I could do it while it's over at the city council. If you think it is more useful, I can go through and try to further break that down. But we're trying not to change anything significant. So I was being very careful with that section, but I just wanted to point out how it works. And part 3 of this is the sunset provisions, Article 13. Most of these things may go away. It's not definite at this point. I believe that Rick McQuaid sent something over to me on the police and firemen's benefit fund. It looks like those may be repealed. It doesn't look like anybody uses them. I have further conversations I will be having. At the request of City Hall, a number of the provisions dealing with the controller, the purchasing agent, the tax collector, and the public works function are all historical provisions. And in all of these sections, the historical provisions are not repeals. Oh, there may be repeals on the police and firemen's fund, but the rest of them are not repeals. They are provisions that need to be reviewed, like this. The historical council districts aren't going away until there's redistricting. Once there's redistricting, 13-1 will be empty. And the same is true of everything else here. All of the controller language that's not in the body of the charter that's in Article 13 is as if it were still in the body of the charter until an ordinance is adopted and the Corporation Council has determined and ruled that all of the provisions have been transferred over. Same thing with purchasing tax and public works. The thinking on.
We're
Was there
getting
que-
some kind of a
Were
feedback.
you getting crosstalk or feedback? I'm not sure which one it is.
I was
No,
getting a little scratchy stuff.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Yeah, if somebody can go to mute, maybe, I don't know if it's
but we
me.
don't have anybody here.
Well, the folks at home, if everybody just mutes, that would probably be helpful. So that's it. And then the provisions for repeal will probably be gone when we send this over to they'll be incorporated in the body in the annotations. I was just preserving them out here so I didn't forget them. These are things that really don't apply any longer, or that we have general statutes that address. There is no Board of Relief. There's no Welfare Department of Social Services. There's no Planning Commission. It's a merged commission by ordinance. And so all of these provisions are going to be going away. So that gives you,
On this page, 212, street sidewalks and building lines, where is that definition now or referenced?
there are other references to it. But these are provisions that talk about successor rights and duties and state appropriations. So the title doesn't really tell you what's here. If you take a look, this says the city shall be the successor to the town. Well, that's long gone, 1913. State appropriations are available for the city. Well, we know that, and they're gone. All of these provisions are covered by the general statutes. C is covered by general statutes. So the section's a little misleading. Patsy, I could see why you were concerned about it, but those are the sections that fall under it.
So
I'll double check on this
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
obstructions and
the reason
encumbrances.
I bring that up is that, through the decades, I've heard a lot of discussion about sidewalks and costs to install or maintain them. It's been
Well, a lot of those is, yeah, a lot of that is governed by the general statutes and the ordinances, but I'll double check on that.
okay.
Ice and snow, the statutes very clearly cover ice and snow.
But
Yeah.
again, in Norwalk, we have sidewalks and we have so-called footpaths. And that's where I'm going here because that's been a historic issue
I'll
of
look
that
at this issue.
definition. So I'd like you just to check it to see.
I'll look at those again.
Covering it. Because we're getting rid of it above also.
All right.
And I don't know if the general statutes have footpaths in there.
Well, you can adopt an ordinance under the general statutes is the point.
Right.
So, yeah. And here's sewer layout. The general statutes are very clear in this regard. We're giving up, the mayor was okay with the things we were taking away from his office. He didn't need to have the power that sheriffs have. Or to demand a watchman or a policeman or a constable. He didn't need to have the warrant, the power to issue warrants for the collection of taxes. He didn't need to be the ex officio superintendent of the police forces, the conservator of the peace of the city. He was okay with. He didn't feel like he wanted to enter any houses where he had reasonable cause to suspect dissolute or disorderly persons to be assembled. He thought that was a job for the police department. So that's like an ancient power. I told him I really would love to have the power to be able to go and suspect dissolute or disorderly persons, whatever that may mean, and do something about it. But that's an old power, so that's going away. And so the Board of Relief. But I'll take a look at those other sections. I'll go through it with the Corporation Council. So that's kind of a quick run through the document. What I've done thus far, and I'll continue to be doing every day, is editing and reading. I ask all of you to do the same. If you all want to break it out, so you don't all have to read the whole charter, maybe you can develop some kind of mechanism where, somebody could take 1 or 2 chapters and everybody can look at those, and I'll be happy to take comments for refinements. The document is being reviewed carefully in City Hall as well, and leadership of the council. So I'm in consultation with all those folks. And so for your next meeting, you'll see another turnaround on the document. And, and then you're going to meet with the department heads next week, and we may have changes as a result of that. So that's where we stand on the document. I don't know if there's anything anybody wants to discuss.
Well, I was
Yes.
wondering, well, go ahead.
No, well, first of all, obviously, a heroic task. I think seeing it all together really helps us to see the amount of work that's been done. For me, again, going back to the fact that the majority of Norwalk citizens are not going to be able to read through this entire document, I think we have a really nice opportunity at the very beginning. And I think you started the work on page 2, setting the context. And I was wondering whether, here, Steve, we should probably explain in very simple terms what the charter does. And, we can go, again, it can be just a paragraph explaining in very layman terms what each of those sections does. I know you have a little bit of that in here, but when I read page 2, it's more, I feel like it's more defensive, like this is what we did and didn't do. Whereas I think what will be helpful would be start up front. I know what you're trying to do, which is assure everybody that we're not changing the structure, we're making it simple. But I do wonder whether up front we should just explain this charter is your document. It governs the way Norwalk. It's a governing document for how Norwalk is run. It covers these areas, and again, and I can help with this, by the way, in very simple terms. Go through each of the big sections, explaining what they do and what potentially the impact is on our citizens. And then you can say, so this revision is an attempt to make this charter much more accessible. And then you go into, we've done this, that, and the other. Because if you start with that, I feel like we are losing an opportunity to really explain what this document does. And provide the context for the changes that we've made.
Excellent.
So for me, yeah,
Yeah.
anyway, I'll stop there.
No, that's wonderful. Do you want to take a stab at that?
I can try and take a stab.
And where you don't have the detail, lay out the outline.
Yeah,
And-
maybe
and
more
I could
the
fill-
outline.
And then I can fill in the blanks. No, I think it's a wonderful idea. And I thought that it should be signed, or it should be, the names of the commission should be on it. It should be a statement from the ultimate statement from the Charter Revision Commission, because this is a very big, I don't say this lightly. This is a very big project. I have done substantial reorgs on charters. This is a reorg in some ways, because as you know, we're still fighting against some of the ancient language, right? Because we weren't trying to throw it out and just start
No.
from scratch.
Yeah.
But this is a substantial alteration of what you have in Norwalk. And so I've never had a full explanatory text of this nature. This is, I give Patsy full credit for setting the context. But I think it's a great idea. So if you could lay that out for me, and I love to write anyhow, but we could probably pull that together, and anybody else who has any thoughts as well. The last part of this, and this is the reason this started, and this is what I'm waiting to talk to people about, is to try to explain the taxing districts. And that's what we'll do, Angela, when we're going through and say, there's the general government 1 through 11,
Yes.
there's the taxing districts, and then there's the historical special act districts, and talk about that's really the vanishing
Yes.
part of the chapter. That chapter hope that will vanish between now and the next Charter Revision Commission. So that'd be great.
Take a stab.
I was wondering if it'd be beneficial for us to go through the highlighted items that you have tonight, just to,
Highlighted like this.
the yellow, yeah,
Sure.
okay.
I mean, that's where I basically stopped there, because that's what I need to talk to Tony Murphy about. Yeah, because it's principally, I mean, I did it up front here because that was the last thing I wrote and thought I would, yeah, I'll try to avoid words like anomalies, okay? I mean, I understand. We'll keep
But I'm just,
keep it
I've
succinct and
got
compressed.
a review for us, but, and, for instance, on page 2, the second to the last line, we talked about this once, twists and turns regarding our form of government. I thought a word like complexity is a little, better, description.
Yeah, well, I'll have Angela take a look at this. Let her take a
So
shot
a
at,
number of things on
like-
that page I would change.
Okay.
Yeah, I just.
well,
got-
feel free, be my,
Got
look,
that
no
one.
pride in authorship here, guys. I mean, there is pride. I take my work seriously,
fine.
but this is your statement and I want the commission to feel really comfortable about this statement.
Okay.
All right,
Okay,
and so I'll try to get Attorney Murphy and Rick gave me a couple of other names that are listed here as well that I'll try to talk to as well. I forget what their names are. It's up here on the top of the document.
you know,
Mr. Hempstead.
Ed Camacho, might be another person that could help with that. I will call Attorney Murphy tomorrow to see whether he's on trial or not.
Yeah, because I'm at my desk, so whenever he calls me, tomorrow's a pretty good day. I'm
Okay.
working at Stanford in this,
Okay.
because I'm still going through on the nits and then the definitions. So in terms of the body of the document, let's see what we have. We want to go through the sections we've gone through the least are boards and commissions and departments. I mean, I haven't changed anything, but is there any value in looking at that again?
Yes, I think there is, because, I don't know if you changed or massaged the fire department's coverage of not covering the 6th taxing district.
No, but remember we
What
found the
page?
language.
What
We found
page?
the language.
Pardon?
Right. We found the language, remember, that talked about that, so I didn't have to put the language in, as I recall.
I thought we were going to reference that, so.
No, remember,
What page would that be on?
it's right here,
Department.
page 60 is, oh, the fire department?
No, the departments, starting with the department section.
Oh, starting with the departments, okay, hold on. Here it is, page 77. Because I thought we found that it talked about the particular taxing districts, and that was Rowayton. And I asked the question, so should I put Rowayton next to that? And the answer was no, so,
It's
Yeah.
the answer is, it's not Rowayton, it's the 6th taxing district.
that's what I just said. So we
Well,
don't need to put,
No,
We don't need the word row 8.
we don't want.
oh, but we don't need the word Rowayton.
We want the language, the 6th taxing, I'm trying
That's
to
it.
find it right here.
I'm sorry?
I'm trying to read it here. I'm just finding, I think. So I don't see it on page 7. I'm talking about the fire.
Oh. Let me go
Fire
right there.
department.
Fire department is,
This is all in reference that they have their own,
Right. Well, they have
94.
volunteer.
or the
That's
volunteer.
what it says that. when-
94, it's on-
when and If they abandon the volunteer fire department,
here
then
it
they
is.
become part of the city, but
Here it is. It's on page 94 and 95, 93 and 94. It's the fire department consists of the jurisdiction of the fire department shall extend to the entire city of Norwalk except to the 6th taxing district.
Did you get a chance to speak to Ed Carlson in Rowayton?
No, because when we found this thank you though, Michael, for giving me his name. When we found this language, I didn't think it was necessary.
Okay,
yeah, but now here it doesn't say that if they abandon their volunteer, that they then would be included in the whole city.
Well, it doesn't say that in the current charter. Is that,
Yes, it does. It does, yeah.
where does it say it?
I can't tell you where it says it, but I know that, and we reviewed it last week, and we found it.
Oh, here it is. Notwithstanding the foregoing, the Norwalk Fire Department shall make available the services of the entire department to the entire city whenever they may be required.
Mhm.
It's right there at the end of this paragraph.
Okay,
But it keeps accepting the sixth district. Unless there's something in the taxing district section that
Well-
addresses it, it's
Well,
not
that's-
addressed here.
That's always our problem, because maybe we have to reference the sixth taxing district
Well, it is referenced.
as a, what is the technical term for it? Under the state legislature.
What's in the special act?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see, the sixth taxing district is page 179.
Which page?
So Patsy, can I ask a question?
Sure. absolutely.
So what this is basically saying is that the sixth taxing district has to maintain its own firefighting force. But notwithstanding that, the city of Norwalk will fight fires within the sixth taxing district?
No,
or-
no, that's not what it says. It says what is happening is that they have a volunteer fire department that handles that area. But should they abandon the voluntary fire department, then the city of Norwalk would include them in the fire department. So it would
Okay,
be
so
the
then-
entire city of Norwalk then. It's not now.
All right, but let me just then, so if there's a huge fire in the sixth taxing district, the city of Norwalk's fire department does not go in there to fight any fire.
They do if they're requested from the volunteer department.
If there's a mutual
Except
aid.
for-
It's mutual aid, there's
Some of their
mutual aid.
own property, like the school. So that is why I feel it's important. This is one of the reasons why I feel it's important to have the department heads here, if they choose to be.
Well, you're inviting them, so they'll be here.
Yes.
Do you want me to do that, or are you gonna do
Why,
that?
didn't you invite all the other people?
I'll be happy to,
Yes,
I don't know who
Yeah,
the.
we don't
I'll do
have
it
any
tomorrow.
mechanism to do that.
All right. Which department heads do you want?
Basically, all of the ones that we haven't had, I want everybody to feel that they've had an opportunity to come before us.
Hmm,
I agree.
I think that would be good.
All right, they were all invited, but we'll invite them again.
When were they all invited? The first
At the
meeting?
beginning of the process, remember? No. At the beginning of the process, when we invited the mayor and invitations went to every department in the city.
I don't
And
recall that. Okay, but we didn't review it with them when we have any substance. You know, we are changing we're recommending to change and increase the fire commission and the police commission. And eliminate, some things obviously, and I just feel it's.
No, I'll take care of it tomorrow.
Okay,
I'll
good.
get the contact information. I'll ask Zuma to help me out. We'll get all the
Okay,
department
great.
heads and the directors, I suppose, the chiefs, the division chiefs. All right. So, yeah, I mean, that last clause covers, it could be interpreted very broadly, notwithstanding the foregoing, the fire department will make available the services of its entire department to the entire city whenever they may be required. A quick look through the taxing district section, it doesn't mention anything about fire. In the I just did a quick run through page 179. And
Where are you
121.
now?
Well, I was looking at the fire district, the fire issue for the 6th district on page
178.
thank you, 179 on mine, for whatever reasons.
Yeah,
And there really was a quick run through. I didn't see anything about fire services in that section. Where it is, 6th taxing district. It gives you, here they have the boundaries of the district, and a reason I put the wards in here is they refer to the wards, so I thought the wards needed to live for that reason alone, since they're still used to define the taxing districts. And it, lays out who the commissioners are, appropriations to support the public library, the Rowayton Public Library. Stuff about Bailey Beach and Roten Beach Park, Rotten Point Park, Rotten Point
Rowayton.
Park.
Roten.
Routen.
Roten.
Roten.
Roten, R-O-T, no, not Rotten, I'm sorry, Roten Point Park. So, but fire, let's see, it does talk about fire in 121, page 121, there's reference to fire. Let's see what that does. The only thing that talks about the city taking over services is this line that we have here. Let's see. It says sewer services. A continuance of former municipality fire and police departments on page 121. Talks about the 4th district, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th districts. Nothing about the 6th. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So we do have that reference. We do have the reference in that section. So
I need to go back to the library, 8-10 on page 95. I believe this whole section was changed. The function of this was changed in probably 1971 or 2, and this is not in fact what happens. So we need to revisit this. Just again, the city established a city department for the libraries of 2 libraries out of the 4. And the other 2 libraries are supported and maintained and run by the 3rd district for their library and the 6th district for the Rowayton Library. So we've got to work on this section.
well, why does it have to be in the charter?
Because it's a city department.
Well, you can simply mandate that it exists and it runs itself by ordinance. I mean,
Yeah, but if a person's reading it, by ordinance, it's not clear. And that's what we're trying to do, is to make this understandable. And we talked about changing the word for twists and turns to complexity. And it is complex, and we're trying to make it simpler. And so that's why I'm suggesting that we work on this section.
well, what do you want to do?
We have to talk to, I'm not sure if the city gives any kind of a grant or any kind of support to the other 2 districts, to other libraries. There was a comment in our old charter of $100 a year, as I recall.
I
So-
just read that in this one too.
Yeah,
Oh.
it hasn't, we haven't changed that.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that happens now. I've never heard that it did. So I think we need to check it, and I don't know if that's Henry's department or Lamont Daniels is the staff person over the city library.
I know.
Or Corporation Council or what, but anyway, this is not accurate.
Yeah, this was a placeholder because there is nothing
Well,
in
that's why I
other
thought
than
it was
this.
good to go through these things tonight, but this is not yellow, so, okay. And you've got
Now
what
it is.
about this, so we gotta check it. Okay,
Yeah, that's why I had, what
Yeah.
about this?
yeah,
Because
good.
this was just a placeholder. It's just hanging there because it's all we have in the charter right now on the library.
Steve, can I draw your attention to the paragraph right above that, that talks about the 6th taxing district and the fire department?
Yep.
On
This
page
right here?
94.
Yeah. Is this what we were kind
Oh,
of,
here it is. Here, this is might be the language.
this is what we were looking for, wasn't it? Or not?
This
I
might
don't-
be it. Shall no longer, yeah, if they cease to maintain, this is what Patsy was talking about before.
Right. If the 6th taxing district itself goes away, then.
Yeah, if the
fire
district
department-
goes away.
Then the fire department.
No, it's not the 6th taxing
No.
going away. It would be the voluntary.
Well,
fire-
it said, well.
No, if they cease to maintain its
If
own
they cease
fire
to maintain
department.
their own fire department,
Yeah, this is exactly what she was talking about,
right?
that Patsy was talking about.
But the language here is, I don't know if it's correct. I don't know if the district pays for the fire department. Or if they're voluntary, do they raise their own money? In some communities, they do. I don't know how that functions, so we need to just check and ask.
Yeah, because it's interesting. It goes on to say that should that happen,
Right,
then the inhabitants in real
That's
and
okay.
personal property within the 5th taxing district shall be liable to taxation to defray the expenses of the fire department.
Yeah, it's a very,
in another place,
Tortured
it says
language.
they'll become part of the city's department.
Which is in that other paragraph where we're
Yeah,
looking at,
yeah, so we
which to
need.
me makes the most common sense.
Right. Okay.
And
So
if
we're
the-
gonna focus on that, I
If the
guess.
volunteer fire department ever wanted mutual aid,
Oh, they do.
Norwalk's not gonna refuse them
No,
going.
they cooperate with each other.
Oh, yeah, fire departments do
Yeah.
do that.
And so that's not the issue. The issue is,
No,
language is-
I wasn't saying it was. I was just saying
well,
that
I want to make sure
the mutual aid
that it is.
is not an issue.
Okay.
yeah. the mutual aid
also,
is
why-
good, but-
Yep.
Why wouldn't the issue about that issue about the fire department and also the issue about the library, why wouldn't it be back in the section where they're talking about, I mean, or could it be back there where they're talking about Bailey Beach and Roten? So that it's all about the 6th taxing district right there.
Oh, we could do that. The reason I put it up here is that Patsy kept raising questions about where's the library. And this was, you're exactly right. This is the only reference to the library, to a library in the charter. And so I moved it here as a placeholder. It probably should go back into the taxing district section of the document. The one on the fire department is related, does connect to the city fire department. And that's the reason I actually placed it there. But you're right about a special meeting of electors. It's the electors of those taxing districts, not the electors of the city of Norwalk. They happen to be, there's a lot of alignment there, but that's, and then remember, this also references the Board of Estimate playing a role. And we were told way back during the budget process that they didn't think the Board of Estimate had much to do with the taxing districts at all. This section would contradict that statement. I will talk to City Hall about this I have a meeting on Friday to have discuss a lot of the loose ends, and these are a couple of the loose ends.
Okay, and that again goes to the confusion issue with the taxing, the first, second, third, and sixth taxing districts. They don't levy taxes. But they buy, they own property, so it's very complex. It's just very complex, so I would keep struggling to try to make it as clear as possible.
Yeah, we're trying not to deal with anything in the taxing district section, because it's just that's a separate war. That's a separate battle. And if we
No,
start,
it's
you know.
not a battle, that's a separate, they have their own powers.
No, but my point, yeah, I agree. But the point is, we're not going to start refining the language in that section, because
We
we're gonna
can't define their sections.
well, it's the part of the charter, so you can actually, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, it's a city charter. The special acts affect them, and that's why we don't want to do it, because they haven't been involved in this process. But if so
Yeah.
we want to, there's kind of sacrosanct, and we're treating it that way. So I will probably move this section back to the special acts, to the taxing district section. I just put it here mainly as a discussion point, and I'll talk
Now,
about it on
which
Friday.
one are you talking about?
The
fire-
special meeting of electors for the library. The fire one's going to stay here because it's connected to the fire department. And the relationship between the city and the taxing district.
But the electors for the library, it is only two of the levies. There are two that are city apartments.
I understand that,
Okay,
but this is going back to the taxing districts because they're not city libraries.
they're not, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, so Benita was right that this really belongs in the special taxing district, the taxing district section, so. All right. Is there anything else?
yeah, so on page 101, you've highlighted the treasurer of the city, so
Mhm.
obviously we're going to recommend that function be deleted.
Page 101.
Yeah,
Yeah, I highlighted because I got to do a run through and address every time it's mentioned. That's where, so I got to decide, where does this money go? It probably
Yeah,
just
right.
to the city. That's why I highlighted it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I realize that.
Well, isn't the treasurer of the city going away, that title?
yeah.
Yeah.
that-
Yes,
Well,
yeah,
no,
so I've got to
right.
come up with a replacement. That's why I put it in yellow.
Okay, but we gotta find out where it goes.
Right.
That's why it's in yellow. I will do that. Yeah, the highlights are for a reason. Some of them are internal changes that have to be made. I'm not doing the internal check until I'm close to the end. Because, if we start moving things around,
Yeah,
then I've got to I got to do it again.
well,
Any other broad questions that we still have?
I'm filing through looking for yellow. I don't
Right.
know about anybody else.
That's what I'm doing too.
I was surprised that a lot of it has been addressed. I mean, I do have comments and questions that are on the side here, but there weren't as many as I thought there'd be. I was very pleased about that.
So on page 120, maintenance of a garbage disposal plant. What section are we in?
Wow.
That's in the taxing districts. Yeah.
Yeah, but there isn't, there isn't a garbage disposal plant any longer in the second taxing district. It doesn't physically, it's in the first district, I believe. It might be on the line.
Down by the mansion, right?
Yeah, but the line goes right through the mansion, actually. So we should check that, but,
But
I think
again,
it's archaic, you know, I think it goes back to 1913.
but we were not going to be changing anything substantively in the taxing districts.
Oh,
because-
okay, so this section, we're totally in the taxing district.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay,
Chapter 12 is the taxing district.
Okay.
So I had the questions in there, but I don't think, I would love to take that stuff out. I mean, there's stuff in the taxing districts I know that should be out, and I don't even live in Norwalk, and I know they should be out. Bond issuances from the 1920s and 30s. But I don't feel I have anybody in authority at the taxing district, and the Corp Council doesn't represent or advise the taxing districts. I don't think I have the ability to make those changes now. When you come back in 2 years, as a new commission looks at this, maybe one of the things would be to make sure you have representatives of the taxing districts that could focus on this, or maybe a subcommittee on the taxing districts, or there should be, before a charter revision, there should be an analysis of the taxing districts to determine how in the same way that we did this for the city
Mhm.
government.
Yeah.
A group should get together before we do charter revision and say, do these things work? I mean, do it by district. I've now broken
do they
everything down.
exist anymore?
Yeah,
Do they exist? To
Yeah,
start?
I mean, basically, the first taxing district should take a look at section 12-9. And then the second, we should look at 12-10 or whatever the section numbers are. They should look at their sections. I've now broken it down so that each district is delineated separately. And somebody could take a look at these sections and say, we don't do this. This hasn't been done in 70 years or 50 years or 30 years. And so then we could then a charter commission in the future can say, this should come out. Well, there's a lot of stuff I know that probably should be out of here, but I can't tell you, the reason those are highlighted is I moved these on April 27th. I found them straggling in the general government side. And I said, they don't belong here. Let me move them to the taxing district. That's why the date 4/27/23 is on them. I was trying to figure out why I had them highlighted, because I'm not planning on doing anything with them. I just wanted to move them there because that's where they belong. So my strong suggestion is that everybody really look at this. I'm happy to take notes. If if Patsy, you and the members want to break it up and have people, Angela's already taken on an assignment, but if everybody wants to take a look at a couple chapters each, be my guest. And that would be enormously helpful. You're not the only eyes that are going to be looking at it, but your name's on the document, by the way. And so, feel free, and you should feel free to email me, call me, whatever you want to do. I'm happy to sit with you and take your comments from the most mundane to, if there's a major screw up, if I really miss something completely, this is the time to really figure it out. Because this was a lot of work, as Angela pointed out. Pulling all this stuff together is not quite a magic trick. It's a very substantial puzzle to put together. And so, and I don't think we need to look at the taxing district section as I think you look at the first 11 chapters of this, articles of this, and just, take it on. If two people want to look at a section, be my guest.
All right, let me see if they want to do that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah,
What, would you like to take a certain section?
just make the assignments.
Well, I'd rather people have, if they have an interest, then it usually is more successful. Do you have a choice?
Not really. I mean, I'll look at the taxing districts, but
Well, that, we're
we're not
not,
looking at
Look at
We
those.
should look at the taxing
Oh.
districts, yeah.
yeah, we don't want to do.
no, I understand that.
Okay,
To me, that's always been the big question mark for me. So,
I understand.
I'll do Article 1 and Article 2.
Okay,
Who's that, Benita?
Yes,
Thank you.
that's the definitions and stuff like that. That way, if I don't understand it, then I don't think other people might either.
Good. Oh, you're very perceptive.
Okay. So
Article
let me find the index here, or whatever we call it, comments. Okay.
Table of
one-
contents.
Yep, 1 and 2.
I'm going to do the
In-
first part, setting the context.
Okay.
And I'd also like to do Article 5 and 6,
5 and 6.
the mayor and the elected, other elected officials.
Oh, good.
5 and
It's
6
Angela.
plus the
Yes, that's
intro.
Angela.
Okay.
Who's doing 7?
What is 7?
No one yet.
Situations.
No one yet.
You want to do 7?
Yeah, I'll take a look. I'm looking through to find something else to do, so.
There's also 2 people, aren't there 2 people missing? We can assign them
Well,
things.
Michael, are you
yeah.
still with us?
And Tyler,
Did Tyler
I
join?
think he joined.
I don't see him.
All right, well,
He had sent a message on the chat, add me as a panelist. Did you? He should be on.
Tyler,
Type something.
Oh, he needs to be added.
Yeah. Can we
Oh.
add him?
Can you add him?
Let me see if I can do it because I'm a co-host.
and what about Michael?
Michael was there.
Oh, yeah.
I got Tyler in here. I think
Hey,
he's in.
Steve. Yeah,
I'm
I've been on for a little bit. I just need to be promoted to panelist in order to have the camera.
Oh, I just gave you the
Hi,
ability to
Tyler.
talk. So how do I do that? I'm looking.
I think if you click on the attendees, you can,
Promote to panelist.
there you go.
You got your wish.
Got it.
So,
Yeah, and Tyler just. I'll
Are you
ping
in there
also.
now?
Hey, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
There you
good.
are. Tyler, I'll ping you also on the first section that I think needs to be rewritten, just because I think there's some stuff you did on Nancy or Norwalk, which might be helpful here. So I'll call you and we can discuss that.
So
further.
Angela and Tyler on the intro.
Yeah,
Sounds
basically,
good.
Just volunteered you.
okay, Tyler, do you want to take a section or 2?
Yeah, just assign me whatever, and I'll
Okay,
do it.
well, let's see, we.
Tyler, would you like departments, Tyler? Because you know city government pretty well.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, so that's 8.
Sorry, Tyler. I hope you don't hate me now. Forgive me.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's actually rather, that is a good one for me to do.
Okay, 8. And so I get education and budget.
Who's doing Article 3? Anybody doing that one already?
No one has taken that on yet.
No,
Nobody's doing Article 3?
well, I don't know where.
Carl, how about you? You want to do that?
Well, I was gonna,
Carl
wait
has 7.
a minute, who's that volunteering me?
Me.
Oh, okay, as
Maybe
long as it's you. Well, I took 7, but I'll take 3 also.
Okay. And I'll check with Michael and see what he will take, and then I will take the balance.
And like
Okay,
the
so you have
Army, all
education,
remaining sections will be assigned to those who aren't here.
Yeah.
Education and budget are the ones
So
that are left.
now we really need to look at the calendar because we
Exactly.
have a lot of conflicts and confusion on availability. So we had ourselves scheduled for next Tuesday at 6:30. Everybody on board for that? I believe that is the night of a common council meeting, so we would probably be meeting in a different room.
Yeah, right.
This is Tuesday, the 9th at 6:30.
Yes.
I'll be a little bit late, but I'll be there.
Well, so how did on my notes, we had 7:30 on the 9th. How did that get in there?
Yeah, I actually had that at 7:30.
Yeah, I had it for 7:30 as well. I think that's partially because I can't be here till 7:30. But if you want to meet with department heads before then, be my guest.
So we could start to meet with the department heads and you join us in progress.
Yeah.
We do 6:30. Okay,
All right,
30 on the 9th.
okay,
Okay, so the 9th would start at 6:30 and then you join us in progress, Stephen.
I'll join you when I get there, yeah. And I'll have, I should have another turnaround for you for that meeting as well.
And I'm-
All right, so we have that one. What are we gonna do after the
Right,
9th?
so then we had the 17th.
We had something for May 11th also.
We had the May 11th. We talked about doing 2 that week.
I am not available May 11th.
Okay. Yeah, we had that one for 6:30, but if you're not here, then we don't have that one.
I have a library.
Should we do a?
Let's just all go to the library.
We do a Saturday session on the 13th?
Um.
I
Do we wanna
cannot,
have- I mean, you wanna
I-
have a drafting session?
I
with
can't do it
everybody's
the
comments?
13th.
Oh,
Yeah.
on the 11th, okay.
Saturday session.
Yeah,
No, you can't do it, but okay.
I can't, I'm gone from the 13th to the 19th.
and it's,
Okay.
I have family commitment with Mother's Day there. Then, so what, but we also had the 17th down.
And like I said, I'll try to join from New Hampshire, but the Wi-Fi there is,
Well, I think the 17th is gonna have to be a substantive meeting, not the public hearing.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have to set a public hearing the following week.
regardless of what it's called, I'll still be in New
No,
Hampshire.
I got it, but I'm just saying that in terms of our workload. So we have nothing, we're not doing the 11th.
I could use the company jet and fly back, but I'm not going to.
The 24th, you're talking the 24th. I will, I would have to do it on Zoom.
Anyone want to try to do the public hearing on the 24th?
Well, I'll be out.
Without-
Meeting on the
on
24th,
Zoom.
there's an event on the 24th,
What? What about?
fundraiser. I don't know if you,
How about the 23rd?
oyster tour and
How about the 23rd, Tuesday, the 23rd?
Yeah, I'm out of state that week.
the week of the 21st,
22nd.
first or 22nd.
Second, yeah.
But can you participate by Zoom?
Well, I can, but I wouldn't want to run a public hearing by Zoom.
Well, we're gonna run out of time, so you
I
guys have-
understand that, yeah.
yeah.
We run a country by Zoom, so.
Um,
When are you back?
Well, if we,
June.
Oh, well, we can't wait till June because
Oh,
the,
well,
yeah.
that week, it goes to the 28th, so,
Yeah, that's the last full week in May, and then there's 3 days in May the next week.
and so if we did
You
Saturday,
get the holiday coming up in May.
right. And we have to have it to the council by June 13th, is that?
No. The council wants it by the end of the month, like May 29th to 31st. And then we'll be meeting with them in early June, a conferral meeting. So they want it at the end of the month. That's. So we need to have at least one meeting on the 23rd and maybe,
Okay, so, I can compromise on May 11th,
So we do 9th and 11th.
Those are.
and then we
really-
could do the public hearing on the
Okay, on the
17th.
11th. Do the public hearing on the 11th.
Well, I think we're gonna need, can we do the public hearing on the 17th?
Okay,
And then.
Well,
we-
the 17th was the original plan, right, for the public hearing?
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. I can do the 11th by Zoom. I have the kids here by myself, but I can be on by Zoom if we need to do a working meeting.
And then we could either, after the public hearing on the 17th, either have our final meeting then, or have a meeting on the 23rd remotely, but as our final meeting, so I can then draft a report to get over to the council for the next
Also-
week.
Also, I don't know how people feel about it, but I mean, if there's a free Sunday in there that you can do, we could do a Sunday afternoon,
Would you bring drinks?
and I'll get absolution for everybody.
I don't know how the city feels about Sunday meetings, but
Yeah.
I'm okay with Sunday meeting.
I could do, that's.
Yeah, I am. to.
Sunday afternoon works better than. Saturday
Afternoon,
morning.
I don't want to do Sunday morning. Unless we have mass here. I could do that.
Well, so.
So I'm looking for a final meeting.
Hone in on that. We're talking
Yeah.
Tuesday, the 9th,
Mhm.
Thursday, the 11th,
Right.
at 6:30,
Yeah,
and that's departments,
no, we're gonna do the departments on the 9th.
okay?
And that's the one we'll start.
We gotta
with.
we gotta be finalizing things on the 11th. We need to have a document that we can say, here, the public, this is the document. And this is what we've done thus far. And there's gonna be changes, the council's gonna make changes, but we need to have our document ready on the 11th if the public hearing is gonna be the 17th.
Okay, so that means we're giving department heads 3 days notice. If you get it out tomorrow.
5 days notice, yeah.
Everybody aware of that? It's not much
Right.
notice.
Pretty tight.
And then
Well,
we're,
if we come on the 11th, we have the 11th, but we need to finish the document, so. I'll leave it up to you. And when can we do a final meeting? Does the 23rd work?
only for me by Zoom. But if
Everybody else
it's not a
okay?
public hearing, I can do it. I can do it either the 23rd or 24th by Zoom.
I'm clear both those. Whoa.
I could do
Yeah,
the.
I have no more walk in here for some reason on the 24th. So
I
I can do both days.
Yeah, I have it marked too.
So why don't we just plan on the final meeting on the 24th?
Okay.
And that gives me enough time, unless there's an overwhelming public hearing response, we should be in pretty good shape.
When you say final, you're talking about that's the public meeting on the 24th?
Yeah, it's a public meeting, but it's our last.
No, I
it's the-
understand.
We're gonna report it out to the council.
I just want to be accurate in what I write down here.
Okay, so we're gonna meet on the 9th at 6:30, on the 11th at 6:30. You all will meet the
No, the
17th.
9th, yeah, the 9th, 6:30, yep, 11 to 6:30. Public
And-
hearing, what do you want to start that time? 6:30?
6:30.
Okay. And then the final meeting on the 24th, 6:30.
So 9, 11,
I
and
thought, okay, I've got it all down, but I thought we had decided somebody wanted one meeting at 7:30.
Well, that was originally the 9th,
Okay.
but we'll just go ahead and start at 6:30.
I'm coming at 7:30. We're
right.
gonna start.
just repeat for
yeah.
everybody's.
Yeah,
way of-
right, without,
Well, can I ask a question though? Are you gonna have the department heads on the 9th or the 11th? Because on the 11th.
I
you-
would like them on the 11th, but Steve
Okay.
doesn't like that, I don't think.
It makes no difference what I like. We just need to get the document done on the 11th.
Are you available at 6:30 on the 11th? Is everybody?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
So you
Is
just
that-
move the department heads to the 11th?
I think. it
That
gives
adds
them
2 more
decent-
days
gives
to
them Decent
People
notice,
on notice too.
which is only fair.
So what will we be doing on the 9th?
Reporting back, having reviewed our sections,
Okay,
right,
Huh.
Steve?
If you want, yeah. I think that'd be fine. I mean, it would be that or department heads. I mean, we'll see how many show up, but we have to report something out on the 11th is my point. That's all. Now, it's possible because the 11th, that's 6 days before the public hearing, so that's fine. I'd like to get, if we're meeting on the 11th, I'd like to get the document out by Friday, the 12th. So the public has the weekend and the beginning of the week to see. And what we'll do, Patsy, remember I prepared for you a breakdown of the big issues before our last public meeting. I
Yeah,
think we're gonna try to create something like that for the release, because a red line is not going to work. There's no way to do a red line, because what are we gonna be redlining?
no,
There's just literally no way to do it. So it'll have to be a breakdown chapter by chapter, what's in there on a substantive basis. it's going to be a more fulsome version of what Angela and Tyler are going to be doing up front. They're going to do it in about a page and a half, and I'm going to what I'm going to try to prepare is going to be a little longer because we want to give the public some respect and show the things we've done. Now, we haven't made huge substantive changes, but you'll be surprised as you go through the document. There are things that we've done besides just reorganize.
So I was just running through them in my mind, and I think we need to, do a litany of what we are suggesting, just bullet points.
Yep.
So that it's clear.
I'll give you my breakdown. You could fix it any way you want. You could contour it any way you want to do it. I'll just give you a breakdown of what it
Maybe you
is.
can help me with that. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Good.
Oh,
Steve-
anybody else have anything?
Yeah, sorry, I was just gonna say, Steve, I've had a reminder in my phone for like 3 weeks. I just haven't done it yet, but I will find some time to do it tomorrow. But I was gonna make some kind of like simplified, easy to read cheat sheet type thing with some of the more important changes that we could, I don't know, put on the website, distribute however. If you have like a bullet point of the bigger stuff that you could put in an email. I mean, I don't know where to start, right? There's some
Yeah,
I don't have a bullet
low-hanging
point, but
That's
I
what
did
Angela was just talking about.
Yeah.
yeah.
Do it, and that I was suggesting, so we get that together, and then maybe you can massage it for us, Tyler.
All right.
I could send you what I sent to Patsy just
Yes.
before our public
Okay.
comment session a couple of weeks
Yeah, and
ago.
send it to Angela, well, send it to everybody.
I'll send it to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Angela and Tyler and I probably can work on it, yeah.
Yeah, and remember, that's just a list as of 2 weeks ago. I'm going to go through this as we're finishing up, trying to detail all of that. And we'll have a transmittal letter that I'll have to prepare. That's the big deal to the council, kind of lay it out for them. If the transmittal letter is not ready for the day it goes over, it'll definitely be in their hands by the time we sit down and talk to them. Because they're gonna be on a schedule that's gonna be accelerated. They can't use their full 60 days if they want this on the ballot. And Tom and Greg gave me assurances that they would be comfortable with that. So they'll probably be starting the first week in June on their review. All
Okay.
right, and that means, Patsy, whether it's by Zoom or in person, leadership or any members of the group need to be at that initial meeting, because that's called the conferral meeting, where we actually go through, I'll probably prepare a PowerPoint and walk through the charter.
And that's what approximate date?
I'm looking at June 5th. I'll check with Tom and Greg to make sure what that date is. I think it was June 5th. It was a tentative date we had set.
Okay.
I'm gonna see Tom on Friday. and I'm gonna
Their
ask-
meeting is usually, it would be this. The 13th, okay, I think their monthly meeting is on the 13th.
But they're planning on doing a special meeting
Okay,
for this. Because we need to get started and they're gonna have to do a series of special meetings.
yeah.
I'm gonna talk to Tom and get a more definitive view of it from him on Friday. Okay,
Okay, any comments, any questions? Okay, hearing none, we adjourn.
thank you, everybody.
Okay, somebody please make a motion, so we have a.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
Else.
Okay, all those in favor of adjourning?
I
Aye.
Send your
Yeah.
cards and letters in, folks. See you later.
Bye, guys.